presentation of Fox Sports.
We are the Fourth. We are Wisconsin.
Out of every winter comes spring. That familiar warmth reminding us baseball is back. It is a fresh start, hope renewed, another chance. It is a new season with infinite possibilities. The wait is over. Spring has sprung.
A beautiful view of the Superstition Mountains here in Phoenix, Arizona. Spring training baseball is on the air. We are midway through the month of March, and welcome you aboard as the Arizona Diamondbacks are set to take on the Milwaukee Brewers on another hot day in the Valley for baseball. We are at Maryvale Baseball Park here in Phoenix for baseball this afternoon. The Brew Crew and the Diamondbacks, I'm Craig Kashan alongside Bill Shorter. Great to have you with us here. March Madness baseball style, right?
Yeah.
We're going to do it for sure. And speaking of madness, boy, I tell you what, the Milwaukee Brewers offense really clicking so far, especially this week. Monday, they start out with 24 runs on the board.
First of all, nice to have you.
Yeah, well,
I mean,
great to be
it
here,
doesn't
my
look
friend.
like you've been in Milwaukee all year. I mean, you got a little bit of a color to
Well,
you.
we're trying. It doesn't take much for
Doesn't
me
take
out
long,
here. Trust
does it?
me
But-
on that for sure.
Yeah, but the Milwaukee Brewers have been swinging the bats all spring, and they're doing it without guys like Perez and VR. They're in the WBC. Ryan Braun really hasn't gotten going. They're hitting near 300 as a team, and most of the damage coming from some of the new guys and some of these prospects that the Brewers have loaded up into their minor league system. So it's going to be a lot of fun to watch these guys progress through the minor leagues. Right now, they're swinging the bats well. Keon Broxton, red hot. These other guys really doing it as well. So it's been fun watching some of these guys you haven't heard of. You saw their names in the offseason, but it's great to see them perform here in Arizona.
Yeah, the development of these guys has been a joy, and Matt Garza is hoping to get offensive support here. He's going to make his fourth spring training start for Milwaukee here. We'll have the first pitch coming up next. Park here in Phoenix for spring training baseball. Arizona and Milwaukee are ready to battle on another sun-splashed day here in the Valley. 88 degrees right now as we are about to start this ball game, and Torey Lovullo is the first-year manager for the Arizona Diamondbacks. There he is, number 17, and he's in his first season as a big league manager. The Diamondbacks making a wholesale sort of changes in their upper management, their coaching staff. A lot of player changes going into the 2017 season after a very disappointing 2016 season when they spent a lot of money to try to make a push for the playoffs, and that obviously did not work out. So the Diamondbacks trying to put some things together here. A lot of stars will be sitting today, but leading off is going to be Gregor Blanco, and then it's going to be Descalso and Peralta to bat here in the first inning. Herman Marte, Chris Iannetta, Ahmad, Reinhammer, and Vargas round out the Potawatomi Hotel Casino batting order for the Diamondbacks, and the Brewers making their way onto the field. And Matt Garza will take the mound today and make his fourth start here of the spring. And there's a lot of competition in that Brewer starting rotation. They've got 7 candidates minimum right now for what looks to be 5 starts.
Well, and again, Garza, as you mentioned, making start number 4, and started out pretty well his last time out against the Padres. He only was able to get through 2 1/3 innings. He had some walk issues in that third inning. He walked 3 guys, ended up giving up a couple of runs, and was not very pleased with himself. You see his numbers last year, an injury-riddled season for Garza, but he did finish pretty well in September. 6-8, 451 his earned run average in just 19 starts a year ago.
Well, the Brewers starting staff a year ago had a very strong finish, and this is one of the reasons why the competition remains. There are a lot of guys in the mix, and 7 as we are midway through spring here as we take a look at Matt Garza's previous 3 starts. He's yet to record a strikeout. He's only given up 3 walks. As you see his innings total, almost 6 for Matt Garza. A lot of hits right now, but he's working on a few things as he does every spring. But you get the sense from him and talking to him that he feels as good as he has maybe ever felt during his big league career here in the spring.
Well, and I think more of a sense of urgency for Garza in spring training than he's had in an awful long time. I mean, it has been said and told to him and the other guys in that rotation, you got to earn it. So he's got to really have more of an intensity out in spring training this year, something that he's not used to.
And Matt Garza finishes his warm-up tosses, and this is a look at the defense behind them. It's going to be Pena catching today. Thames, Jeanette, Arcia, and Shaw across the infield. Braun, Broxton, and Lewis Brinson gets the start out in right field. There's the defensive alignment for the Milwaukee Brewers, coming off a disappointing loss yesterday. They blew a 1-run lead and a walk-off home run given up by Jacob Barnes. A tough way for him to end the game yesterday against Colorado, and the Diamondbacks winning their spring training game yesterday. So we're ready for baseball here on another beautiful day. No clouds in the sky today, but we are ready to rock and roll with you. Gregor Blanco is set in the batter's box. First pitch from Garza misses out and away.
Yeah, no clouds and not much breeze today, and temperature's supposed to hit 92 degrees. All week long it's been in the 90s.
They keep saying record heat this week, which it seems, Rock, when we're here in March, it always seems to be like this. But we're talking about 14, 15 degrees warmer than normal.
Right, but it's supposed to cool off next week, so fear not. Back into the 80s, 70s.
We'll take the snow back to Wisconsin, apparently. It's just kind of how it's gone. There's a strike poured in by Garza. 2-1 to count. Blanco in his first year with the Diamondbacks signed a free agent contract, spent a lot of time with the San Francisco Giants. 2-1 pop-up left side. Shaw, Arcia will call him off and make the catch as he battles that sun, as you can see.
Yeah, it's always an adventure, anything up in the air to the left side of the infield or even in the outfield. And that's why you see guys, not just one guy in their pop-ups. Sometimes you need some help. That's a good idea right there.
Bring the shade with you, right?
Yeah, right. If you can't find it, just bring it with you.
There's some people that have a spot where the sun is blocked a bit. Our camera operators out here are well prepared for the sun. Like to see that. Great to be with you on the air as Daniel Descalso steps in. Long time St. Louis Cardinals, spent the last couple of years with Colorado. Those are his numbers a year ago. 264 at the 8 home runs and 38 RBIs.
Man, one of those guys that can play all over the infield, kind of a backup type player, and he can play short for you. He did that quite a bit with the Cardinals when they were going through some of their injury problems.
1-1. Fouled back.
Hey, Garza's had pretty good breaking pitch so far this spring. He did, get away from a little bit with those 3 walks in the 3rd inning his last time out. That was back on the 11th. But mixing his pitches up pretty well in spring training.
Well, Garza, traditionally a pitch to contact individual, and so you're going to see base runners against Garza for the most part. The trick is to play good defense behind him, and we've talked about it all spring about how the Brewers are trying to improve that defense. Partly on the defense, partly on the pitching in certain situations. Little liner over to Shaw, 1 hopper. And there's 2 down here in the first.
And defense has been pretty good for the Crew. They've committed 16 errors. It doesn't sound like that's all that great. 16 errors in 20 games, but I think when you consider where the team was a year ago, they led all of baseball in errors. I think that's an area that has had a lot of focus this spring.
Always working diligently on defense. They were doing it again today before batting practice. That's a daily habit to go through during the 6 weeks of spring training as David Peralta steps in and takes a cut at that first pitch and fouls it back. 48 games a year ago for the Diamondbacks, .251 average.
A lot of guys in that Diamondbacks outfield with injury problems a year ago.
And he fouls a breaking ball a liner away. Hope everybody's okay down there. When you get the full stadium gasp, that look out. Spring training numbers for Peralta at 286, 8 RBIs, pretty productive as far as driving and runs. 4 straight lefties in that batting order. In fact, make it 5 with Marte batting 5th as a switch hitter for Labello. Ball and 2 strikes. There's Garza. Just misses away.
It seems as though the velocity a little bit better for Garza each and every time he gets out there. Just trying to ease on in to get around to that 85-90 pitch range for opening day, or at least that's the goal. Get all these starters up to where they can go about 5 innings.
Here's the 2-2. And this one fouled away again. Now the Diamondbacks, one of the most disappointing teams a year ago.
Yeah, 69-93 their record. We talk about Peralta with only 48 games. One of their mainstays in the outfield, A.J. Pollock, only 12 games a year ago. He had injuries that kept him out just about the entire season. It's tough to make up for that.
Absolutely. Well, you got injuries, and then you'll have some players who underperformed. And certainly that was the case with Zach Greinke, who they paid more than $200 million to as a free agent signing as well. Andrew Miller. A lot of things just didn't work out. A lot of changes were made. This one put in play right to Thames, and he races to first and beats Peralta. A 1-2-3 first inning for Matt Garza. Brewers coming to bat here in the middle of the first. gorgeous day for baseball here in the Phoenix area. Bottom of the first we go. The Diamondbacks and the Brewers are battling here from Maryvale Baseball Park. There's a perfect view of the Brewers spring training home. Craig Counsell in his 3rd season as the Brewers manager, 2nd full season of spring training for him. And we'll take a look at his batting order, brought to you by Potawatomi. Bring your night to life. And right off the top, it's going to be Keon Broxton having a tremendous spring so far. Then it's Thames and Braun here in the first. Shaw, Aguilar, Jeanette, Pena, Arcia, and Brinson. Your Potawatomi lineup. First pitch in to Broxton is a strike.
Yeah,
those
batting averages were from last year. You saw that 240 for Broxton, and he's hitting around 400 this spring.
Yeah, Broxton at 394.
Robbie Ray, pretty good left-handed pitcher, 3rd year with the Diamondbacks. Had 218 strikeouts a year ago, although his record didn't really match the numbers that he put up. 8-15, a 4.90 ERA, but had big strikeout totals. He faced the Brewers last year.
And 3 pitches to retire Keon Broxton. So strikeout to open things up. We got the beard action going over here. We see that all over the place now. That's the thing.
Beards are popular.
That's right.
You gonna go with it?
I'm okaying everyone else's beards at this point.
Not
That's
a beard
what I'm
guy,
going
no
with.
facial hair.
That's kind of not where I came from, Rock. You can't change your ways at my point of life. Not quite like that. You just kind of take yours back a little bit. That's all. It's all good. This guy's got a beard at the plate too. Eric Thames. That's a look right there. Unmistakable. You want to know who your new Brewer is? Very recognizable face right there. Man. 222 this spring for Thames.
Got that big arm pad, you know, out there on that front arm. That's one of the bigger ones that we've seen. Thames off to a bit of a slow start. Got off to a really slow start, swinging the bat better. Hit a home run against the Cubs a few days ago.
And called strike 3. Inside corner of the plate, and 2 consecutive strikeouts to open things up.
Yeah, Chris Guccione, the home plate umpire, not messing around. That ball looked like it might have been a little off the inside corner. Check it out. Not where he wanted it. Maybe that's why it looked like it was away, because catcher Iannetta was set up outside. Normally, you're not going to get that call. Missed by the entire width of the plate.
Here's Ryan Braun. Ryan Braun slowly making his way back into game action. Swings at the first pitch into left field and past the shortstop for a base hit. Might have taken a funny hop on Marte. Would have been a tough play either way.
Had a little top spin on it. Maybe picked up speed on that hop. But Brawny not messing around, picking on the first pitch. Yeah, check it out. This is self-defense right here. That ball just comes right up on the shortstop and into left field.
Ryan Braun, first base runner of the ball game. Bottom of the first, here's Travis Shaw, left-handed hitting Brewers third baseman. Came over, of course, from the Boston Red Sox. Some of the young guns in today's lineup for Milwaukee, some of the veterans, some of the newcomers. Shaw, one of the newcomers. Came over in that monster deal for Tyler Thornburg. Boy, did he net some players, didn't he, in that trade with the Red Sox?
Yes, he did. I mean, a nice addition to that Red Sox bullpen. He did a terrific job for the Brewers last year. But particularly good when he took over for Jeremy Jeffress out of that closer's role at the end of the season.
He had quite an arsenal of pitches for a closer. And that's where the Boston Red Sox, at least at the back end, maybe not closing this year, being at least a setup guy. We'll see how it all pans out.
Yeah, but Shaw, a good get for the Brewers.
Yep.
They need some left-handed pop. And they got it with Thames and Shaw in the corners. Robbie Ray not messing around, is he? Just keeps throwing strikes.
3-1 the count on Shaw. Got the first two batters on strikeouts. Here comes the 3-1. Fouled back. Shaw having a good start with the Brewers here this spring at .310 with a couple of home runs and 6 RBIs. Played a lot at first base over the last couple of years with the Red Sox and their organization, but mostly at third. So once again, the Brewers acquiring a guy that can play multiple spots, which is almost a top of the list priority for the most part. Very few on this roster right now that can only play one spot. This one unloaded center field straight away and long gone. Off the top of that batter's eye back there for Shaw, his 3rd home run this spring. And the Brewers are out in front with a big 2-out home run from Travis Shaw.
Yeah, we came on the air talking about the Brewers offense, and it has come from everywhere. Shaw's starting to swing the bat well. The Brewers hitting near 300 as a team. And now they just hit their 29th home run. Check it out on a 3-2 pitch. Got ahead in the count, 3-0. Shaw came back and got the count to full and then made a mistake middle in. And Travis Shaw drives it out of here off the batter's eye in center. It's exactly what David Stearns was looking for when he picked up Shaw, some left-handed power.
There's Jesus Aguilar. He's the DH today for Milwaukee. .433 this spring with 3 home runs and 9 RBIs. Big hitter looking for a spot somewhere on this roster. An exclusive first baseman in DH. And if he keeps hitting this way, though, he might hit his way right on the big league roster. No options left for Aguilar, though, so if the Brewers don't keep him, they will risk putting him out on the waiver wire. And because the way he's swinging, they may lose him. You're right.
Right. I mean, really having a heck of a spring.
Here's the 0-2. Just misses away.
Question is for Jesus Aguilar, big guy, normally needs a lot of playing time to stay sharp. Is he going to be able to get that with the Brewers in the major leagues?
Well, this is one of his few chances to make a big league roster. Spent the last couple of years with Cleveland trying to crack their major league roster, but the last 4 years he has spent time at AAA. And so you just gotta, you wonder, when is he going to be able to make that next jump? Who's going to give him the chance? Where's he going to fit in? This time he strikes out. So 3 strikeouts here in the first inning for Ray, but he also gives up a 2-out, 2-run home run, and the Brewers take a 2-0 lead here at the end of the first inning in our spring training game against the Arizona Diamondbacks. 2-0 lead over the Diamondbacks as we head to the top of the second inning here in Maryvale. Pretty happy dugout so far for Milwaukee. A lot of runs scored this week alone for an offense that is cranking it out game after game. And now Matt Garza pitching with a lead, which is good news for any starting pitcher right now. Make him a little more comfortable, hopefully, out there. Chris Herman steps in. Top of the second inning for the Diamondbacks. Left-handed hitting left fielder. First pitch misses. 276 on the spring for Herman. Came over from the Twins a couple of years ago in a trade, so his second full year, and hammers one down the right field line and all the way into the corner. Brinson plays it, and a leadoff double for Chris Herman and the Diamondbacks.
Yeah, put a good swing on that pitch. A mistake by Garza. And when Matt falls behind in the count, he really doesn't have the big fastball to get able to get that pitch by hitters middle in, and Herman does a good job pulling the hands in and getting the barrel of the bat on it. A leadoff double.
So Garza now works to Ketel Marte. He is now the new shortstop for the Diamondbacks. Gene Segura was traded to Seattle for Marte during the offseason.
Well, Gene's bounced around a lot, hasn't he? I mean, for a guy that has the ability that he has. Now with his 4 different major league teams.
Yeah, he's one of these guys where the ability's there. The production was certainly there a year ago for the Diamondbacks. He got his season squared away. This one hit to center, throw home, and a nice throw by Broxton. Holds the runner at third. Well, that was one of the drills they were running today before batting practice.
Yeah, hit the cutoff man. He didn't do that, but you know, Marte not able to get to second base. I think if they did hit the cutoff man there, if he hit Thames, they might have had a play on Herman, who rounded third base a little bit too far. But still a good throw by Keon Broxton in center field, right on the money.
All right, so first and third. Nobody out for Chris Iannetta. Another Seattle Mariner in his first year with the Diamondbacks. Came over on a free agent deal. Having a good spring with this new team. 385 with a home run and 3 RBIs.
Well, it's considered a very good catcher. Guy's good game caller. Fundamentally sound behind home plate. He's bounced around quite a bit as well.
He's out with the Rockies and the Mariners. Now with the Diamondbacks. Good stop behind the plate by Pena. Now the Brewers backstops are on display here this spring as well. Pena getting his chance behind the plate today. A host of Brewer catchers trying to make the depth chart. Will it be just 2? Could it be 3 when they break the big camp?
And not sure you really have the luxury to be able to keep 3 catchers.
Yeah, I would agree. I think part of that too is there isn't a tremendous amount of separation between all of them.
All of them are right-handed batters.
Yeah.
All 3 of them very good.
Very good, yeah.
Defensively. All 3 of them throwing the baseball very well this spring.
Got Andrew Susac, one of the candidates who's missed some time this week with a stiff neck. Not sure if we'll see him before the weekend's up. That happened earlier this week. We were talking about that on the radio broadcast, the webcast yesterday, about, you know, when you're in tight competition, this is not the time you want to be missing.
Right. Especially when all 3 catchers are lumped so closely together.
Yeah.
But there's still 2 weeks left.
There's Pat Murphy in that dugout, the bench coach with Craig Counsell. He's going to join us on the broadcast.
Hope to have him with us in third.
That's our goal. We had to get Pat today. There goes the runner. And Pena will let him go and make sure the runner at third stays. Well, it's ball 4 anyway. So not a good start here to the second inning for Matt Garza, who is posted to a 2-0 lead. And now 3 aboard here, nobody out.
Yeah, it was the third inning his last time out against the Padres that he really had some control issues. He walked 3 in the game, and those 2 in the third, and all 3 of them came in that third inning. So trying to be fine on the corners, and as opposed to just throwing one down the middle when he gets behind, he continues to try and find the edges. I guess if you're going to do that, good time to do it in spring training, just to see, or just to work on that command.
Here's Nick Ahmed. He's the DH today. High and tight, ball 1. Bases loaded, nobody out here. The Diamondbacks second inning. Numbers from a year ago this spring, 273 so far with 7 RBIs. Tell you what, despite all the struggles that the Diamondbacks went through a year ago, they can still hit. Still one of the best offensive teams in baseball. Roller to Arcia, and he can only get the force out at second base. A run scores, and the Diamondbacks are on the board. It's a 2-1 ball game.
Well, he got his ground ball. He just didn't have it hit hard enough to turn a double play. So Garza doing a good job getting in on the hands that time of Ahmed. But still has an opportunity with a ground ball to get out of this mess. Now, Matt Garza, when he's at his best, is pitching in effectively. The only way you can do that is you have good command away first.
Here's Jack Reinheimer, third baseman today for the Diamondbacks. They're missing a host of talented names. Chris Owings, Jake Lamb, Paul Goldschmidt's playing with the WBC Team USA, and A.J. Pollock. Rock mentioned his name already. Zach Greinke, of course, still on his pitching staff.
Good eye, good eye.
You got Shelby Miller, Robbie Ray, today's starter.
Yep. First and third for the Diamondbacks. 1 down here in the top of the second inning. 2-0 count to Reinheimer. Now 2-1. And speaking of the WBC, big win last night for Team USA as they rallied to beat Venezuela. Adam Jones hit a tying home run leading off the 8th, and then Eric Hosmer of the Royals added a 2-run shot 3 batters later. And a big second round win.
Adam Jones having a good tournament, isn't he?
Yeah, he sure is. Garza pours in a strike to even the count. Yeah, that was in San Diego at Petco Park, Rock, and Jones grew up basically just down the street about 8 miles east of Petco Park. Yeah. So his father and brother all served in the military there. It's a big outing for him to be there.
Yeah, no kidding.
Big stage.
Adam Jones had a walk-off single against Colombia in the first round.
Good crowd here at Maryvale today. A lot of folks out in the grass with their blankets out in the outfield. That's the lucky crowd over on the first base side. They've got some shade to work with. Garza again, the 2-2. Missing low and away. Now we saw Chase Anderson in yesterday's game against the Rockies. And his pitch count was very good early on, and then ran into a rut in his final inning in the fourth. Garza here at 34 pitches, and we're not through the second inning yet.
Yeah, both Anderson and Tommy Malone looked pretty good in yesterday's game against the Colorado Rockies at Talking Stick. That was just a good baseball game all around.
Yeah,
I mean,
it was.
that's about as close as it gets to the regular season. Good defense.
Yeah.
You know, pitching was very good on both sides, and unfortunately for the Brewers, they lost in a walk-off homer.
It was kind of a stunning end there. It looked like Jacob Barnes was pouring in some heat and left one over the plate. This one smokes center field. Broxton on the run and makes the catch at the wall. It'll play to run as the throw comes in towards first base. Quite an at-bat for Reinheimer, and he wins the battle with a sacrifice fly and an RBI.
Yeah, it just didn't sound like he got all of it. Broxton doing a good job going back up against the wall and never really took his eye off of it. That's kind of a dangerous proposition with the way the sky is here. The high sky, no clouds, sun in your eyes, so made a nice catch up against the fence. And just to get a little bit of a peek as to where he was on that warning track, and about 2 strides away from the wall, able to make the catch.
Ildemaro Vargas steps in, the number 9 hitter for the Diamondbacks. Switch hitting second baseman. Having a good spring at 360 so far. A couple of home runs and 4 RBIs as well. Yeah, Broxton, though, on the defensive side, looks so comfortable out in center field right now. It's, boy, he's come a long way in a short amount of time. If you consider the fact he made his first opening day roster a year ago, couldn't get a hit in his first 24 at bats, up and down for the minors, and then just kind of took over. Here's the throw, and it's off target, so a stolen base.
Yeah, that was a big lead, a big jump for Ahmed, and able to get in there safely. Not much Pena could have done about that. They had a lot of steps before Garza got rid of the baseball. Pena throws sail just a little bit, but stays in the infield.
So runner in scoring position, 2 runs already in here in the second against Garza. Looking to get the final out here with the number 9 batter in Vargas. Here's the 2-0. Swing and a miss. That's a pretty athletic outfield right now for Milwaukee, isn't it? You got Brinson in right and Broxton in center. Braun, the veteran, out in left.
And a lot more sitting on the bench, just as athletic.
Boy, you're not kidding. Two one. Tap to short, Arcia. Strong throw, and finally that last out. Diamondbacks, though, tie things up against Matt Garza. Middle of 2, it's a 2-2 game.
Diamondbacks Brewers, and introducing the Brewers' most flexible ticket plan ever. With the all-new Brewers Flex 10-pack, you can choose your games as you go, plus you'll get opening day as your free 11th game, so you better hurry. It all starts at $16 a ticket. Visit brewers.com/10packs. Opening day, national holiday in Wisconsin.
Isn't it a national holiday across baseball, though, across the country?
I don't know about that, but I know it is in Wisconsin.
Yeah, it is.
It is an event everybody looks forward to.
That is a good party to get started, that's for sure. Here's Scooter Gennett to lead off the Brewers' second inning. There's something about it, that afternoon game, and the fact that no matter what the weather, everything's perfect with the roof closed.
It's going to be snow on the ground, you think?
Yeah, it might be. Little ground out to second for Scooter Gennett to start things out.
I know when you were back in Madison, you were sending me pictures of your backyard.
Yeah, it was snowing pretty good, my friend.
The pool was frozen.
Yep.
Did you enjoy the picture I sent back to you of 90 degrees, not a cloud in the sky?
Yeah. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, that was good.
But I only enjoyed that because I knew what I was getting myself into. That's.
You were heading out. You were going to get there.
That's right.
See, I wouldn't have done it had you been
that's
forced
right.
to stay.
You don't want to taunt me, do you?
I don't want to rub it in.
No. Here's Manny Pena, the Brewer catcher today. 346 this spring. Pena in the mix in the rotation for who's going to start, who's going to get the bulk of the playing time. Is it going to be split evenly as the regular season goes among catchers? Pretty big shakeup as the Brewers traded away both their catchers here in the last year, with Jonathan Lucroy going at midseason and Martin Maldonado going during the offseason. Not too many clubs have the fortunes of having such a 1-2 punch for so many years together as the Brewers had with Luke and Maldi.
Yeah, it's one thing to have your catcher, your number one catcher, stick around a while, but unusual to have, you know, the same backup sticking around. Maldonado did a terrific job defensively for Milwaukee, and it's a new era behind home plate. Maldonado traded for Jet Bandy.
The Brewers went out and got some guys with experience on the major league level in Bandy and of course Susac. Both have a decent amount of playing time on the major league level, and success is that. Pena right now hasn't logged as many big league games as the other two.
Well, he's got more experience with this pitching staff than any of the other two. He played a little bit more last year than the others, or at least than Susac. And that experience catching these guys is why all three of these guys have played so much.
Ray delivers the 2-2 against Pena. Look out again. Now, it's one thing to sit and bake in the sun. It's the other thing to stay on high alert, right?
Yeah, even when you're watching a game, sometimes when those balls come whistling in there, you really can't do much about it. They are hit so hard.
Another one pulled foul. Brewers have 3 straight games here at Maryvale, the first of 3.
And all 3 on television.
And Pena strikes out. Another strikeout for Ray. That's his 3rd already of the ball game. Check that, his 4th.
Yeah, he is a big-time strikeout guy. He's already got 4. Had 218 strikeouts in just a little over 175 innings last year. And so you got in here Tuesday, right? You had a webcast yesterday. 3 consecutive TV games. You sticking around a while? Are you
Yeah, we're
back?
never done working at Fox Sports Wisconsin.
Are you heading back?
No, now Sunday and Monday we're doing minor league interviews.
Oh.
Everybody's included here. It's not just the big leaguers, it's the minor leaguers. This is one of the most prized minor league organizations, of course, in all of baseball.
Highly ranked. Yep.
And as highly ranked as they are, the last couple of years we have partnered really well with the Brewers to make sure that we're covering what and where, who's going places, and getting some profiles done. So there's a look at the upcoming spring schedule. Got the Royals in here tomorrow and the Cubs Saturday. So the Brewers able to get their morning workouts in, batting practice, and then stay right here at the ballpark for games.
Now tomorrow's St. Patrick's Day. I mean, are you one of those guys that comes in here with your face painted green?
It'll be painted green.
Body paint.
The shamrocks in places that you know are good for radio. Everything's green, Rock. Another strikeout. Arcia high and away goes after it. 5 strikeouts in the first 2 innings for Ray. It's a 2-2 game as we head to the third. Maryvale, a 2-2 game, the Diamondbacks and the Brewers, and we'd like to welcome in Pat Murphy, the Brewers bench coach, 2nd year with the ball club. And Murph, how you doing today, my friend?
Doing great, Craig.
Tell us about how things are going so far this spring. We're about midway through. I know you guys are keeping tabs really closely on a lot of competitive spots right now, and you guys have quite an athletic group of young players here, and a lot of good things going on.
I think there is. You know, I think a lot of teams feel this way about their club right now. You've got some guys playing real well. You got a lot of competition. You got a great attitude in the clubhouse, and I think that's true for 90% of the clubs. You know, Craig does an unbelievable job. Craig Counsell getting these guys prepared. There's not a lot of horsing around. There's not a lot of time for relaxing. You know, it's just get after it. So they've worked very, very hard, and I think it's going to make us a better ball club.
Hey, Murph, has anything surprised you down here in spring training? I mean, in a good way, as far as, you know, the way this team is gelled and, you know, just the way the guys are playing. They seem to be playing some pretty good baseball here.
You know, Rock, it's hard to, yeah, they are. You're exactly right. It's hard to talk about gelling and things like that because it's not really till, you know, the bullets start coming back at you, you know, and you're playing for winning and losing, and you're playing for keeps that you can really tell the character of the team. But I think that I think we've like last year. I think we surprised some teams last year, and Manny, we surprised some teams last year, and I think you know, our division makes us good. You know, you got to come ready to play all the time, and that competition makes us better.
You know, one of the things I love doing, getting here early, you know, before batting practice, and normally it's you with a fungo in your hand, and you guys are working on some type of a fundamental drill in the outfield and the infield, and You bring a lot of energy to those things. Is that something? Is that a way just to keep these guys loose and mix it up just a little bit? Because spring training can get a little bit long.
As you know, it can. We've been here since February 10th, every day at 5 a.m. And sometimes you got to lighten the mood a little bit. And these guys know what they're doing. They're pros, and they do work very, very hard. A lot of inexperienced players, but guys that got some great experience last year. And you want them to build some confidence, and you want them to realize they can do it, and even do some things that they didn't realize they can do. So, again, I guess that's become a little tradition around here that I can be a little boisterous and obnoxious.
It amuses us for sure.
Good. Good. Then I've got a role. I'm having an impact. I like it.
Your thoughts last year, your first year in Milwaukee. Your thoughts of the city of Milwaukee, Brewers fans. Anything really stick out for you?
Well, I'm not going to sit here, Rock, and say that it's a horrible city and horrible fans. That's not what you do, right? Is that a setup? Is that a layup?
But it's not true anyway. These are diehard.
These are great people,
fans.
man. It makes you feel bad sometimes. They're such wonderful people with just wonderful passion for the game and for all their teams. It's really fun to see.
This one hitting a long ways to right field and leaves the park. A 2-run home run for Descalso. And right in the middle of our interview with Pat Murphy, the Diamondbacks hit Matt Garza again here, a 2-run home run.
Now, Murph, we were talking down on the field before the game, and I said I was going to give you a question where you can kind of get on my case a little bit. I thought maybe that might have been the one. Like, what kind of a stupid question is that? But
yeah, I would have, Rock. I'm trying to concentrate on holding runners here, and
okay.
No, the people are wonderful, and the stadium's unbelievable. The way you get treated at the stadium, the way our families get treated. I mean, it says something. You talk to other players and coaches around the league, and Milwaukee's a place that everybody mentions as, wow, they love visiting, and they love coming to the ballpark. It's a great place to watch a game. I feel grateful. I feel blessed to be part of it. I think we're building something special. I think everyone feels that. It's hard not to have the timetable be yesterday, but I think you're going to be encouraged with what you see. I really do. I think you're going to, like last year was a few people and a few moments where you said, wow, and I think it sets up nice for us because the conference is so tough, and I guess they call it a division, don't they? I got to switch my language there a little bit. Division's tough, and it's it makes you better.
Well, Murph, we saw you doing some multitasking, giving some signals over to your catcher.
And eating seeds, too, at the same time. And
eating seeds and talking to us and watching the ball game and keeping track of everything.
Shows you how hard it is.
What are some of the? Can you tell our audience some of the things that you're most responsible for in helping out Craig Counsell, the manager?
The bench coach takes care of the bench. Make sure the bench is polished, clean.
Swept up properly, right?
Actually, there's a lot of people in my life that have no idea. What does the bench coach do? Well, the most important thing is you're there for the skipper when he turns to the right or turns to the left. You're there for him with some type of answer or how to get an answer. And, you do the preparation of every type of strategy matchup that can happen, although you never could cover it all. You're involved in player relations and talking to players on what might happen and what they need to be ready for. You're involved in the defensive part of the game in terms of holding runners or putting on a play in a bunt defense or a first and third or a pick play or something like that. You're involved in a lot of the preparation. And what's going to go into the game plan of the game, and serving as liaison sometime between the pitching coach and the manager, or serving as a liaison between another coach and the manager. Just a lot of things goes into it. Most important part is, helping players find their best selves. I think that's what we all do to some extent.
Can you tell us your thoughts on what you have noticed about Craig Counsell's maybe demeanor, what some of the things that he's picked up now in his second really full year of running a camp, being in charge of this rebuilding project with his team right now, Murph?
Well, he's great at it. I want to tell you that. I've always respected the guy. I mean, he did a lot with a little. No one would have foreseen that he'd play 16 years in the big leagues and had the impact on championship teams the way he has. And then I don't know why anybody would underestimate him as being a manager, because the same thing occurs. He's just bright. He keeps learning. He's open to growth. He's the same every single day. He's the same every day. He doesn't have time for a lot of nonsense. You know, he's not going to run for mayor. That's just not his way.
He could, though. I mean, I imagine.
Well, he could on his name, but I mean, he doesn't spend a whole lot of time, you know, trying to recruit new friends and things like that. I mean, he's out there trying to get his job done effectively, and you know, I've learned a ton from him, and I keep learning. I feel really lucky to be working with a guy like this. And I've known him for so long, but to see what he's capable of and how his mind works, and you know, he just doesn't take too many moments off. So it's really a pleasure. I mean it. It's been a real pleasure getting to know him this way and see him lead. He's a great speaker. He commands the room. He has so many qualities that I think he didn't even realize he has.
Great stuff, Murph, and we appreciate it. Look at your multitasking here right now.
That was a 2-1-5-1. You know what that is, don't you? 2-1-5-1.
Throw him out at second base if he runs?
If he runs, throw him out.
That's why I have Rock at my side, Murph.
That's caught.
That's rated Braun for the final out.
See how we orchestrated that? 2-1-5-1, line out to left.
There you go. That
Well
was
done,
going to be
Murph.
my prediction right there. Murph,
Well
thanks,
done.
pal.
All right, thank you guys. You were wonderful.
All right, thanks, Pat Murphy, the Brewers bench coach, coming right back.
Diamondbacks with a 4-2 lead, and they get a sneak preview of the crew on March 31st and April 1st as the Brewers host 2 exhibition games at Miller Park. Those games are against the Chicago White Sox. Tickets start at just $10, and all fans get a $10 food and beverage voucher upon entry. Visit Brewers.com for tickets.
All right, Brewers coming to bat here in the bottom of the third. Their 2-0 lead is gone. They now trail in this game 4-2 as Garza's been hit hard over the last 2 innings by Arizona. And Robbie Ray back out on the mound. The big left-hander for the Diamondbacks has plowed his way through this Brewer lineup so far. 5 strikeouts through the first 2 innings. And he opens up against Lewis Brinson. Brinson batting for the first time here today. He's the Brewers right fielder. Good spring for him, 290, couple of home runs and 7 RBIs.
He is a big man down there by the batting cage. Did you get a chance to meet him today? Or
yep, we
down here. I mean, I don't look up to, I mean, physically look up to a lot of guys, but he's one of them.
I do.
I mean, I look up to people, you know what I mean, in a what do you call it, just admiring kind of way. But as far as just size, I mean, he's a big dude.
Well, I'll tell you what, Brinson, I mean, we had a chance to talk with Jesus Aguilar today as well. I think you really have to see some of these guys. You could tell Brinson by his stature is big and tall and powerful. I think Keon Broxton is the same way. But then there's Aguilar, where if you see him on TV, you think this guy's big, thick, muscular guy, but you see him in person, I mean, he could put on a uniform for the Green Bay Packers and play linebacker or end.
Yeah.
You know, these guys are big athletes.
Or lift you up over his head, yeah. Slam you on the carpet. Yeah, these are a bunch of athletic youngsters, and just a part of what's going on here with this organization. There's a lot of them.
Brinson, the #1 Brewers prospect, knocking on the door to get to the big leagues. It could happen this season. We shall see if he continues to put up big numbers. Came over from Texas, of course, in that big trade last season that Jonathan Lucroy and Jeremy Jeffress were sent away. Had some good numbers in the minors with Texas, some very good numbers at Double-A. Hadn't played Triple-A before, and the Brewers put him in the last month in their Triple-A affiliate at Colorado Springs and did very well. There's a look at the top prospects for Milwaukee. This one hit hard and into left field past the third baseman, Reinheimer. And Brinson digging his way into second base, and he gets in there. He's got speed too, folks. You can talk a lot about his power, but this guy can run the bases.
Yep, hit one right through Reinheimer at third base. I mean, ball stayed down, the glove went up and into left field. He wasn't satisfied with first base, able to make the turn right away. He's thinking double right out of the gates. Maybe two-base error. Not sure what they're going to give him, but I mean, he's basically just in cruising mode until right at the end there. That's how quickly he can get around those bases, those big, long strides.
It is going to be an error on Reinheimer, the third baseman. Nobody out, runner at second base, top of the order in Broxton. Keon struck out in the first inning. 394 coming into today's action for Broxton. Recovered nicely during the offseason from that broken wrist that ended his final month of his first major league full season. And his hitting picking up right where it left off.
You can see the walks he's been able to take his base on balls, showing good patience at the plate. Hey, you wonder who's going to be the leadoff hitter. Is going to be VR? Is going to be Broxton? Either way, I think the Brewers, top of the order is going to be looking pretty good. 1 through 3 at least.
Broxton with a couple of stolen bases as well this spring. Big time stolen base threat, of course. 23 a year ago in the 75 big league games. The brunt of those coming after he started getting that bat going with the position he's got his hands in right now holding that bat. Certainly has paid off. This one's going to get out of play on the right side.
Man, you talked to Keon about that. What was the biggest difference for you? Was it the stance change or playing every day? He says yes, both of those things. I mean, you got to play every day to feel comfortable enough to be able to make a change like that, and he stuck to it. Got a lot of playing time when he finally got called up for that third time, and combination of the playing time and that stance adjustment, started to figure it out.
One of only 6 rookies to steal 20 bases or more in a season. Broxton a year ago. He had a 5-hit game a year ago against these Diamondbacks. He was the first Brewer rookie to have a 5-hit game. That happened in early August. This one, base hit up the middle. And Brinson, slow to turn the base, is going to be waved home and will easily get in. And the Brewers get another run. They're within 4-3 now.
Yeah, once again, Broxton fell behind in the count, and he took a couple of close pitches. There was a changeup that he took with 2 strikes that really gives you the sense that this guy's really confident at the plate. And now in the 2-2 count, ball gets in on him, back in his stance just a little bit, but still strong enough. Muscles it into center field, out of the reach of Marte. Good quick bat, able to center it and shoot it right back through the middle.
A lot of hits either up the middle or the other way for Keon Broxton this spring. Here's Thames, the Brewers' first baseman. He struck out looking against Ray his first time up. Still going through the adjustments of coming back to the major leagues after spending the last 3 years playing in Korea. And there goes Broxton, throw to first, now down to second base, and they got him there. Tough to steal against the lefty, and Ray got him.
All part of the learning process, figuring out these guys' moves. Check it out. You see Robbie Ray hangs that foot up there. He allows Broxton to commit himself and just goes to first base. Now Broxton had stayed put, he would have just headed to home plate. That is a very difficult move as far as a left-hander goes to steal on, because they're waiting when they bounce on that back foot for the runner to commit.
Oh, 2 now to Thames, and he sees a pretty big size major league shift. That's the other thing he's got to hit through. This guy was hitting around 350 in Korea. Not sure if he faced these kinds of shifts over there. Also an adjustment to the speed and the fastball more on the major league level. And there's that shift we're talking about. Did he beat it? Yes, he did. Ball thrown away. Can't be handled over there at first. Would have been a tough play.
I think it would have been safe anyway, even had they've been able to hold on to it. Descalso not able to hold on to it, but Thames gets down that line in pretty good shape. You saw how deep into the outfield Vargas was, the second baseman, but there's a little bit of what the Brewers hope to see from Thames at Miller Park. A lot of curveballs over in Korea. A lot of off-speed stuff. He learned how to do that.
I love the home run call.
I think he was saying, get up, get out of here, gone in Korean. Is that what it was?
And our friend who made that line very famous is doing the radio right next to us, Bob Uecker, with Jeff Levering today. I think we've heard that today already with the home run produced by Travis Shaw. There's Ueck and Jeff.
This is great having Ueck at the ballpark, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Sitting in the clubhouse with Bob Uecker and Tony Miliaccio, the Brewers clubhouse manager. Ueck telling stories about his playing days, and nothing like it. It's a treat every day.
Got to cherish him. We all grew up with Ueck as the voice of the Brewers, and still going strong.
You know, we were talking about, you know, some of the odd jobs that players had back in the old days because they didn't make enough money to be able to support themselves all year. You know, back in the 50s and, you know, 60s, and some of the stuff that Ueck did, he had us laughing.
Had to pay the bills, right? Had to keep the families going.
You know, it all started back, you know, the conversation about, you know, when did it start that players came to spring training already in shape? And we asked Bob Uecker about that. We had him on our air on March 11th. He said, you know, back in those days, back when I played, we had jobs in the offseason and really didn't have time to get ourselves in shape like these guys do now. Makes a lot of sense.
Right. The money was nothing like it is now, and the value.
Ueck said the minimum when he came up was $7,500.
Amazing.
Isn't that something? A lot of guys make that a day around here.
At least for a lot of them. Sometimes that's a pitch for a guy like we were talking about Greinke's contract with Arizona last year. Braun hits into the double play. And the Brewers able to get a run. And it is now a 4-3 game as we head to the fourth here at Maryvale. It's 4-3. Brewer fans, you can stream games live on your mobile device with Fox Sports Go all season long. Download the app and take Fox Sports Wisconsin and Brewers baseball wherever you go. Great tool to have. We're following the Bucks as well. They're on the West Coast. It's a great tool to watch Milwaukee Bucks basketball when you're away from home. Good crowd here at Maryvale. 4-3 game. Matt Garza back out on the hill for inning number 4 of work. He had a 1-2-3 first and gave up 2 runs in each of the last 2 innings.
He just threw his 55th pitch here in the 4th inning.
So you were talking about Uke sharing his stories of working during the offseason out of necessity because of the salary, what, being at $7,500 a year for the minimum salary for the year, right?
It's 154 games, so I kind of did some ciphering.
How'd you do?
That's $48 a game. Now I understand about, cost of living increases, but now the minimum salary in baseball a little shy of $550,000. 162 games. That's $3,300
a game.
Yeah, so
versus $7,500 a year.
Yeah, a little different.
A little different. We should do the $200 million that a guy like maybe Greinke's getting, and what, 30, 35 starts tops.
Yeah.
Then you could break that down to per innings.
Yeah, we don't want to go there.
But we don't want to go
We're
there.
not those kind of guys. But
no.
We only bring it up today because of the discussion that we had with Uke on Monday, and then we talked about it again, today before the game. Just good times.
Here's Ahmed. With the ball and 2 strikes. Delivery by Garza.
That's a good pitch right there. Looked like a strike from behind home plate.
Didn't get it.
Good slider. He wanted it.
2-2. Ahmed leading off the Arizona 4th. Spoils this one again. So we're going to blame this stat on Glenn Preston, Rock, but he did the math on Greinke. $5.7 million per start. $5.7 million per start. Roughly.
That's a lot of money.
Roughly. Estimated.
Assuming what, 35 starts?
And that's a lot right there.
Yeah.
Stay healthy all year, beginning to end. Scooter Gennett at second. And there's your first out.
Well, good for him. I mean, that's the way, that's the way the market is right now in baseball. You get a guy like Greinke, who is certainly a difference maker. Nobody knows that better than the Brewers.
And Craig Counsell out, going to make a pitching change here. Matt Garza's pitch count has reached his limit. We'll come right back to Maryvale. Brewers out, I should say, trail by a run 4-3 to the Diamondbacks as you take a look inside that Brewer dugout right now. Pitching change was made. Matt Garza out. Preston Gainey is now in here in the fourth inning with one down. Brewers minor league prospect was with the team at Brevard County High A ball and also at Biloxi a year ago.
Yep, third appearance this spring, has not allowed a run. Looking to get out of this fourth inning.
Started the year on the disabled list and trying to work his way back and up through the Brewer ranks right now. 26 years old, out of Boca Raton, Florida.
You have an 11th rounder by the Brewers in 2012. He went to the Naval Academy, so went to Annapolis.
And he faces Jack Reinheimer. And a sacrifice fly for an RBI back in the second inning, his first at bat. Tomorrow, Jimmy Nelson is slated to start for the Brewers, and Willie Peralta also scheduled to get some innings in relief. So two of the candidates for the Brewers starting rotation will be here pitching in the same day at Maryvale.
Yeah, Jimmy's going to be making his second start, his third appearance.
This one hit hard into the gap and left all the way to the wall. And Reinheimer will settle for the double. So base runner aboard for the Diamondbacks with one down here in the fourth.
Yeah, hit that one hard. Gainey with a fastball, and Reinheimer turned it around. Gainey with that mid-90s fastball, has got a slider. Throw a changeup once in a while. Check it out. Here it is. Fastball middle in. Missed his spot. And Reinheimer knocks it into the gap.
So you have 7 candidates right now to be in that starting 5. And Craig Counsell, on a daily basis, is somehow asked about his starting pitching staff, and was again today in his morning briefing with the media. And right away, Rock shuts everybody down. He says we're still a long ways away. We don't have to set our roster till April 1st, and it may go down to that, especially if everybody stays healthy and competitive.
Well, and that might be the case with some other decisions that they have to make.
Yeah.
Catching, another infielder, utility player, and you don't have to make a decision until the last minute, and why do it before that?
And there will be some tough decisions. There always are, but as you continue to build your team up and you're starting to find who's going to permanently take spots and who you see your future, those decisions continue to grow. Ground out to second base there, advances the runner 2 down.
As we get along spring training, as the last week of spring training approaches, a lot of players, veteran guys, pitchers and position players have wording in their contract, if they don't make the big league team or not guaranteed to make the team by a certain time, they become free agents, and a lot of guys get picked up right at the end. And we'll see. Remember, Nigel Morgan got picked up right at the end of spring training. He had a big impact on that 2011 team.
Absolutely. Blanco steps in with 2 down and a runner at third. Counsell was also asked about Scooter Gennett today, point blank. Does he have a spot on this 25-man roster when you go back to Milwaukee? And Counsell said no, not yet. He said nothing like that has been determined at this point. And Gennett making a start at second today. He's worked at third, worked in left, worked in right. I think those are the 4 spots the Brewers have him keyed on defensively right now. Little pop-up bunt. And a nice play by the pitcher Preston Gainey. He came in relief, gave up a double, but no runs. So he gets through the Arizona half of the 4th inning, and the Diamondbacks out in front of Milwaukee 4-3.
A charitable arm of the Milwaukee Brewers thanks you for your constant support year after year. To find out how you can join Brewers Community Foundation as it aims to improve the quality of life for children and their families in greater Milwaukee and Wisconsin, visit brewers.com/BCF.
Robbie Ray back out on the hill in the 4th inning. He started today's ball game for the Diamondbacks, and he faces Travis Shaw. Really, his only mistake of the game so far was Shaw. He took him deep to center field for a 2-out, 2-run home run back in the 1st inning. Nice piece of hitting, lefty versus lefty.
And then the Brewers were able to pick up an unearned run in the 3rd inning.
Well, Travis Shaw has not disappointed with his bat, as he has been given third base by Craig Counsell. Brewers did a nice job, David Stearns and his crew, of acquiring good left-handed hitting. One is Shaw, the other Thames in their corner infield spots. A little slow roller to first. There's the first out.
And the other guy that's going to be able to bat left-handed, Jonathan Villar, the switch hitter. Everybody else right-handed, which is why it was so important in the offseason to acquire some left-handed bats that can have some pop in Shaw and Thames. One of the main objectives in the offseason was to provide a little bit more balance in that batting order, and they've done that.
And I think the other thing they would like to have, with Scooter Gennett being more of a utility player now, is his ability to come off the bench with his left-handed stick as well, which his offense last year about as good as it's ever been in his short tenure so far in the big leagues. He's got 3+ full seasons now in the bigs, but just showing his patience, taking more walks last year, hitting left-handed pitching better. We'll see where this guy fits in as well. Aguilar, he's one of the newcomers.
You might have Scooter on that bench. You've got Neuenhuis, a left-handed hitting outfielder that Craig Counsell has already said has made the ball club. He and Hernan Perez, of course, he's right-handed.
Two on the way, misses down and low. 3-2 to count now on Aguilar.
A lot of grunting going on out there by Robbie Ray, and he even does it when he throws his off-speed pitches. So if you think he only does it when he's throwing his fastball, think again. He doesn't.
Sound like a tennis player down there.
Right. Doing a backhand. Yeah.
And he got Aguilar this time to swing and miss, high and away. And he fans for the second time in this game.
Man, 6 strikeout for Robbie Ray. I mean, you're seeing Robbie Ray, what he does. Bunch of strikeouts a year ago, 218 of them. But he also gave up 24 homers.
Well, we've seen the strikeouts and the home run so far here early in this game. Here is Scooter Gennett. 2 down here in the Brewer half of inning number 4. They trail by a run. Ray's pitch count at 67. You would imagine that he'll probably be done after this. You're thinking about 60, 65 pitches, maybe 70 for starting pitchers right now at this point of spring.
Yeah, you would think, right? In an effort to get into around 90, for their first start of the year. Now you say 24 home runs, and when you consider where he pitches, half his games, I mean, Chase Field, pretty good home run hitter's park. I mean, 24 home runs there in 32 starts, not bad. That's pretty good.
Right.
Where's that?
Boy, he thought he had one there. He's ready to walk off the mound.
Not sure where that missed. Scooter Gennett ought to buy a lottery ticket. Check this out. Really? Boy.
This time he got him swinging for the finality. And 7 strikeouts for Ray in 4 innings of work. It's 4-3 Arizona. Joe Chamberlain now on the mound for Milwaukee as we go to the 5th inning here at Maryville. The Diamondbacks lead the Brewers by a run. It was Matt Garza who got the start, and now Chamberlain gets his turn as he tries to make this big league roster out of the bullpen.
Yeah, already his 7th game down here at 3.00 earned run average, giving up a couple of runs in 6 innings of work. Last season with the Indians, not a whole lot of activity. 20 games at 225 earned run average, most known for his days with the New York Yankees.
So he's out on the mound. Defensively, just one change for Milwaukee over at first base. Garrett Cooper takes over as Thames departs. Robbie Ray putting on a show out there on the mound with 7 strikeouts through 4 innings of work against Milwaukee hitters. First pitch from Chamberlain is strike 1 as he faces Descalso. Descalso with a 2-run home run back in the 3rd inning. Chamberlain has been a very positive influence, been around the league for a long time on some of the young Brewer pitchers in that bullpen. On one of the first days off here at spring training, which are very rare for these players, he got a bunch of guys together and said, come on, dinner's on me, let's go.
Why don't you do that for me?
Yeah, we don't seem to have a day off together.
Actually, I should do that for you.
You bought lunch yesterday. I owe you now. High fly ball. Arcia going out and makes the catch with Braun giving way out in left field. Good to see Orlando Arcia out at shortstop and so athletic out there. He's going to enter his first full season with the Brewers, of course. Called up about mid-season a year ago, and didn't take long for him to adjust to the big leagues, did it?
Yeah, defensively he was something else. I mean, right from the beginning, still learning how to hit at this level, and hitting at 235 this spring coming into today's game. But certainly got an incredible ceiling for Orlando Arcia. We haven't seen a lot of them. I mean, television games, even the webcast that I've done, I haven't really seen him in the lineup a whole lot. I mean, maybe 2 or 3 times. And an incredible talent at shortstop.
Boy, this one hit a long way for Peralta, and another home run given up by Brewer pitching here this afternoon. He goes deep for a solo shot, his first of the spring for David Peralta.
Yeah, got one down and in and golfed it out of the ballpark. Chamberlain, a 4-pitch pitcher. Not throwing as hard as he used to back in his early days with the Yankees. Check it out. You see the target. He misses his spot down and in, and Peralta gives it a pretty good ride. That's a red zone for any left-handed hitter, that pitch down and in. Oh, bad form. Dropped a beer, didn't get the ball. Boy, it's an expensive miss.
You might have to be escorted out of the stadium for that. That's
about a $12 drop, isn't it?
Wow, look at him. Yeah, I'm empty now. He's probably out of money at this point, too. Here's Chris Herman.
They have money machines here at the ballpark.
Well, he better go find one. He could have brought a souvenir home. He's all geared out. There's the wife. She's out. She's either out or she's responsible for the new beverage.
She's disgusted.
I think you're right about that.
You told me all these years how good you were in your playing days. You had your shot.
Tried to make the backhand and flip that beer out. Well, there's not a lot of conversation going on out there. Ball and 2 strikes to Herman. Right back at Chamberlain. And he makes the throw for the out. 2 down. She says, really? Well,
we're taking it home regardless. That wasn't a beer. Lemonade. Okay, that could be replaced.
Here's Marte. Couple of hits and a run scored in this game. Right at Cooper will take it himself. Comes in the game for the first time and gets the put out. Diamondbacks get a run. It's 5-3. Head to the bottom of the 5th inning, and baseball is back, and your Brewers are ready to take to the field. Fox Sports Wisconsin gives you an inside look into the 2017 Milwaukee Brewers, including exclusive interviews with players and coaches. Brewers season preview March 22nd at 8:30, only on Fox Sports Wisconsin. Looking forward to the season preview show. Jeff Grayson, Jerry Augustine going to host that. Augie's getting his work done right now, I'll bet.
BA and I did a segment for that.
Did you?
Talking about the young, talented center field position here with Milwaukee this year. There's Tyler Jones last year in Double-A. Pretty good numbers at .217 earned run average in 33 games. Made some appearances down here in spring, making appearance number 7. He's given up 1 run in 5 innings.
All right, so Jones is set to face Manny Pena. Brewers have not had a lot of turns at the plate here, but are happy to see Robbie Ray out. He had 7 strikeouts in his 4 innings of work. Pena only batting for the 2nd time here, and we're in the 5th inning.
Yeah, Robbie Ray looked good. 1 walk, 7 strikeouts. And as you mentioned, the only mistake he really made was that home run to Shaw on the 3-2 pitch.
Pena right down the line, fair ball. Gets past the 3rd baseman, and Pena will lug his way into 2nd base with a double to open things up. Good start for the Brewers offense here in the 5th inning.
Well, the old adage is the bat plays, and Manny Pena showed a pretty good bat last year when he came up with Milwaukee. Had some hits. And Pena hitting a little shy of .350 coming into play today. Just out of the reach of Reinheimer at 3rd base down the line. And 2nd time the Brewers have had their leadoff hitter on. Manny Pena with a double.
Here's Orlando Arcia. First pitch smacks it into left field. Base hit. This should score Pena. He's being waved home. And Arcia not wasted any time. And the Brewers back within a run here in the 5th inning.
Well, he likes that first pitch, doesn't he? That first pitch fastball. This time it was up. Orlando able to center on it and hit it hard in the left. So back-to-back hits. The Brewers within 1 run.
Big smile on his face.
That infectious smile. What a respectful young man, too. The last time, every time you talk to him, he always has time for you. And he's a good influence in that dugout.
Well, his brother Oswaldo is over on the other side for the Diamondbacks. He was with the Twins organization when Arcia was on the brink of getting to the big leagues with the Brewers, and now he's over here with the Diamondbacks. So it's an opportunity to face his brother. Perhaps he was over there giving him a smile. Who knows? Not too many opportunities between the divisions that these two are going to hook up, these two teams. Here's Brinson with Arcia over at first. He reached on a 2-base error and scored a run back in the 3rd inning. Orlando always talking about his brother Oswaldo and being the older brother, how much he has helped him with each stage of his professional career.
So different players, right? I mean, one power hitting outfielder strikes out a lot. The other, a very talented shortstop.
Yeah, they have different statures, that's for sure. Brinson awaits the 2-0, high and tight 3-0.
He's not a bad number 9 hitter, don't you think? Lewis Brinson.
Boy, it's been amazing how Craig Counsell has tinkered with this lineup. And of course, one of the goals for him is to get the first 2 guys on as often as possible for Ryan Braun, who said is the number 3 hitter. After that and before that, nothing quite settled on who's going to be hitting where.
And a lot of times protection for your number 3 hitter, in this case Braun, it comes in front of him, not necessarily behind him in the batting order. Get on base.
Braun anticipating an at-bat here this inning. Brinson at the plate, Broxton on deck. Then it's the number 2 hitter and then Braun. There's Craig Counsell on that lineup. Right now he's got Cooper set to hit. He came in at first base. Brinson gives it a ride and a one-hopper off the wall. Here comes Arcia. He'll easily score on the RBI double by Brinson. And the young kid coming through again.
That ball just jumps off his bat, doesn't it? He's an incredible talent, Lewis Brinson. Hammers that one off the wall in center field. I mean, he was out on his front foot. The way he's able to generate power on his front foot, but he keeps the hands back. Kind of a defensive swing, but watch where it goes. One hops the wall, drives in Arcia, and he ends up into second base. Incredible strength.
A 5-5 game now here in the 5th inning, as the Brewers get to Tyler Jones, the relief pitcher. Top of the order, and Keon Broxton. Garrett Cooper is indeed on deck. Again, he came in for Thames at first. It's been the only defensive replacement so far by Milwaukee. Broxton is single back in the 3rd inning. He got caught stealing against Ray, the left-handed pitcher. Another warm day here in Arizona. Expect temperatures to get up to about 92 here today. And speaking of heat in the Cactus League, look where the Brewers are in runs scored, right at the top of the leaderboard right now with 124. 24 of those came against Seattle, who's right behind him on Monday in that win. And this time Broxton goes down. That's the first out here in the 5th inning.
And we talked about that on our open today. And when you consider Ryan Braun hasn't played a whole lot, so he hasn't really contributed a whole lot to that. Then you have Hernan Perez and Jonathan Villar, two of the top offensive players for the Brewers at the WBC. They haven't played that much. So that's pretty good numbers when you consider 3 of your top guys haven't really been in the lineup a whole lot.
Yeah, that's a good point. And the Brewers have scored 36 runs over their last 3 games. A bluff move out there at second base by Brinson. Is Cooper now the batter? They have 24, 7-4 today, 5 more over the last 4 games here this week. Cooper sends one down the right field line, hit it a ton, but it's foul. That's a long foul ball. Cooper, 6'6", 230 pounds, 26 years old. Out of Torrance, California. 6th round of that 2013 player draft, first-year draft. Hit 276 at AAA a year ago and 299 at Biloxi, split time between the 2 affiliates.
Well, you can make yourself a pretty good living if you spend some time in AAA for a while. There's not a whole lot of room here at the major league level, at least for Milwaukee. But you never know. It's awfully difficult to pull that jersey off and say I'm done.
That's right. Just got underneath this one as he hits it to straightaway center field. There's the second out here in the 5th inning.
And of course, I'm not saying that he's close to that. I'm just saying that, you know, even when you have a log jam with the team that you're at, does not mean you can't make it to the major leagues. But got some work to do. We've seen him a lot this spring.
Ryan Braun bats for the 3rd time here today. He waited over a week, maybe 8-10 games before he made his spring training debut.
Was it March 10th, something like that?
A week ago Friday, I think.
Something like that. I don't know. Doesn't need many at bats. He says 25. That's what he got last year. Hard to believe Braun's in his 11th season.
Well, it sure is.
Where's the time going?
305 a year ago with 30 home runs, 91 RBIs, stole 16 bases, made 130 starts. He was hoping to get between 130 and 140 to stay healthy, enough to get those, get the proper rest. And I think that's about the goal now. I think he threw out 150 this year, but I'm not sure that's realistic at this point.
Well, Craig Counsell did a really good job managing his playing time and giving him days off, making sure he stays strong. It's always a challenge to say, you know what, I'm not going to play my best player today, but yeah, you're forced to do that. Ryan, 33 years old now.
He's had enough injuries, and I'll tell you what, you're the only one who really knows how your body can work, especially when you pay attention to it the way that Ryan Braun does. And he's trying to play it smart. The club's trying to play it smart.
Look at those numbers.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Phenomenal. Team's all-time home run hitter. 15 shy of 300. That'd be quite a milestone, wouldn't it? Not far off from 1,500 in his career either for RBIs.
All right.
Six-time All-Star. And this one lined down the left field line and just foul. Boy, he smoked that.
Those quick hands, pitch up and in, able to get to it. I thought last year for Braun, for me, was one of his most impressive seasons. I know he had the huge numbers back in the day with Fielder around him and those guys, but with the team pretty much out of contention, and Jonathan Lucroy traded, the guy that normally hit behind him in the lineup. I mean, he was consistent pretty much all year. Put up the numbers and was able to stay healthy.
And is pretty excited about the young talent this team has put together right now as he pops one up in the infield. Might be a tough play, and it can't be made. Everybody's going to be safe. How about that? And a run scores, and that breaks the tie. That is not an easy play to make. As you saw the first baseman Descalso come in fighting that sun and ended up overrunning it by a step or so.
And it looks like that's going to be it. Going to make a pitching change. You can see the ball straight up. Ionnet has no idea where it is. Descalso coming in, overruns it. Never gets a glove on it. And it looks like that's going to be an error, and it should be. But a run in.
And a pitching change is being made here in the fifth inning. Brewers out in front, 6-5. Bottom of the fifth, pitching change made by the Diamondbacks. The Brewers have plated 3 runs so far, 2 outs. And coming into pitch is Andrew Chafin, another lefty out on the mound for the Diamondbacks here this afternoon. His numbers from a year ago.
Yeah, a little high, the earned run average. He only allowed the 1 home run in 32 appearances. His 6th appearance down here in spring training and a 1.80 earned run average.
Brett Phillips came in to run for Ryan Braun, so Braun's day is done. Travis Shaw at the plate. A home run and a ground out. The home run, though, back in the first inning. Big 2-run pop off the batter's eye and straightaway center. Big booming home run. He's got 3 spring training home runs.
Seems like he hangs in there pretty well against lefties. One of those home runs obviously today against the starter Robbie Ray, the left-hander.
Yeah, that home run, that 3rd home run, ties him for the team lead here this spring. Take a look at Phillips over at first base. Jason Lane coaching first. Is Carlos Subero still out coaching with Team Venezuela in the World Baseball Classic? 2-1 now to Shaw. This one pulled foul. That'll even the count. A gorgeous day to be at any ballpark here in the Phoenix area for spring training. 2-2 spoiled again.
And not a bad crowd. Of course, you know that the Diamondbacks are always a team that draws well here for obvious reasons. I mean, they play here in Phoenix. Giants always draw well. The Cubs, of course.
Dodgers.
That's where to be. It's 92 degrees right now. You want to be in those stands in the shade.
My hour of sun was enough during BP today with you.
Did you have enough?
Yeah, it was enough.
I noticed you were hanging out by the dugout. Was that by design, or you just get caught up in conversation?
Just caught up in conversation.
I saw you down there with Dan Wright.
Yeah.
Are you talking about the team, or you have a little problem?
No, I have a lot of problems, but I won't bother Dan with all my
nothing
problems.
that needed Dan Wright's attention.
he learned a long time ago. He said, "Don't come to me with your problems, Dan. Let's just talk about the world."
They do have a team psychologist, you know.
I know it. Matt does a nice job. He claims that he's kind of bored this spring, though. Everything's good. That's a good sign, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
The team psychologist.
Right.
Tell you what, though, Rock, there are very few players, whether you're a pitcher, a position player, a guy battling for a spot, that's not having a good spring so far for this team. It's been a pretty positive one so far, you got to admit. Phillips on the go, but Shaw strikes out to end the 5th inning. Brewers get a couple of more runs and grab the lead. And we are through 5, 6-5 Milwaukee.
As we head to the 6th inning here at Maryvale, and theme nights are back and better than ever in 2017, with everything from Hello Kitty to Star Wars, Charlie Brown to the Grateful Dead. This season's theme nights are shaping up to be the most exciting yet. For the complete schedule, go to brewers.com/theme nights.
Now we're looking forward to that. Should be a lot of fun here at the ballpark as Rob Scahill now comes in relief for Milwaukee here in the top of the 6th inning. And of course, last year came over from the Pittsburgh Pirates and still fighting for a spot on this year's Brewer team in 2017.
Yeah, it was taken off the roster right before spring training when they picked up Jesus Aguilar from the Cleveland Indians. They put Aguilar on the roster. Scahill having a really good spring, has not allowed a run in 6 appearances, and did a real good job last year for Milwaukee when they picked him up.
And some defensive replacements for the Brewers. DeJesus now takes over out in left field. Brett Phillips stays in the game and plays center. And Ursig over at third base now for Shaw. Here's Chris Iannetta, the Diamondbacks catcher. Scahill, a pretty even split with his appearances a year ago between the Pirates and the Brewers. 15 for Pittsburgh and 16 for Milwaukee, and putting up much better numbers for the Brewers after the team acquired him, and he came over from AAA Colorado Springs. Did a pretty nice job with that 2.45 earned run average you were talking about.
Yeah, basically, you know, the fastball, the slider. He comes in the in the middle of an inning a lot of times throwing strikes. That's what you need from a relief pitcher. He's had a nice career. Colorado Rockies, Pirates, now Brewers.
High and tight to Iannetta. How's the bracket looking, Rock, for the March Madness already? Have you taken a look at anything yet? I don't think there have been any upsets.
No, I don't do brackets anyway.
You don't do them?
No.
I got to admit, this is the first year I have not done one. And I've been keeping track of things a little bit here today, because before we went on the air in the first few innings, there had been no upsets, but we have one in the making. Middle Tennessee State's leading Minnesota. I think that's going to make a lot of Badger fans back in Wisconsin actually happy.
You think?
I think so.
You want your own conference to lose?
I think there are a lot of. I don't think they're going to approach it that way. I think there was a little squander and trouble with the seeding when everything was announced.
Badgers weren't happy, huh?
I don't think Badger Nation was happy. DeJesus with a nice catch. Saw everybody fighting the sun out there.
Yeah, I did watch some Badger games. You know, they did carry him down here from time to time, and Badgers had a rough end of the season, right?
They sure did.
They lose 5 games, 5 out of 6, 4 out of 5, something like that.
They went through a pretty rough stretch of February and tried to rebound in March and got in a title game of the Big Ten Championship. Lost to Michigan.
That big game tonight for Bucky, take on Virginia Tech.
That's right. This one hit hard, and Brinson right there to make the catch as he retires Ahmed. So 2 down quickly for Scahill. Take a look at what's going on at FoxSportsWisconsin.com right now. Aguilar trending up in the midweek stock report. You'll have to take a look at that. The latest mock draft picks for the Packers, and the latest on Wisconsin to Marquette in the NCAA tournament. Marquette getting their first round game on Friday.
Yeah, Marquette against South Carolina. Marquette can shoot a little bit, can't they?
The Badgers, speaking of Marquette, Buzz Williams, you know, is the Virginia Tech coach now. Yeah, Marquette can, boy, I tell you what, when their offense clicks, it can be very dangerous. Beat Villanova. Remember that? #1 team in the country.
I only said that because I heard you and Levering talking about it up here in the booth.
Is that right?
It's a wealth of knowledge, both of you.
Yeah.
Well, you both did basketball in the offseason, right?
Yeah, a little basketball. Jeff did quite a bit.
That's where BA is right now, right?
That's
doing
right.
the NCAA tournament. Do you know where he is right now?
I think he's in South Carolina, isn't he?
Is he? I don't know.
I thought you guys texted every day, several times a day.
Yeah, I don't ask him where he's at.
Is he a little busy?
If he's not here, I don't care where he is.
Oh, he's gone, right?
Yeah, he's gone.
Ooh, right back at Scahill. makes a body stop, picks it up, and a nice play. Hope he's okay. Looks like he's walking off the mound just fine. Good 1-2-3 inning for Scahill in relief here in the 6th. Sausages making their run here at Maryvale. A little shorter version. Is the Italian going to hang on today? Indeed. Always a crowd pleaser, Rock. Can't beat it.
Yep, even down here in Arizona, 92 degrees in those sausage suits.
I'm not getting in one of those when it's 92.
Taking pictures and very popular.
Yeah, the good thing is they get to get up in the shade and sign some autographs and take some pictures. All right, here's Jesus Aguilar to lead off the 6th. Chafin stays in the game, the lefty for the Diamondbacks to start out the inning. Aguilar struck out a couple of times, did that in his first 2 at-bats in yesterday's game as well. He's had a really good spring, came in at 433, tied for the home run lead with 3. Down 2 strikes to Chafin. Hits this one a ton center field and all the way back and gone. A home run for Aguilar, his 4th of the spring. A nice easy swing going the other way.
Yep, on an 0-2 pitch, so making a mistake is Chafin. That's the thing about Jesus Aguilar, guys like that. I mean, you give them consistent playing time. They might look bad, a couple of at-bats. On an 0-2 pitch, check it out. They're trying to go up in the zone. Forget it. That's a big fella. It doesn't even have to get all of it to knock it out of here. A nice compact swing, good balance, and that ball just jumps off his bat. Brewers with a 2-run lead.
Now 7-5, so the leadoff home run here in the 6th inning. Now he is going to make things interesting when it comes down to decision time on what this team's going to do. Here's Scooter Gennett. Ground out and a strikeout. Scooter hit left-handed pitchers a year ago at the major league level at a 260 clip. It's about 100 points higher than his previous career.
Well, because he was given opportunity to face him consistently.
Gets a hold of this one and well hit, but will hit into an out. The first here in the 6th inning. And a pitching change is going to be made again for the Diamondbacks here in the middle of an inning. One down. Here in the 6th, the Brewers are out in front by 2 runs. His 4th home run of the spring, and that gives Milwaukee a 7-5 lead. Forces a pitching change for the Diamondbacks. And it's going to be Kivas Sampson, and a familiar face to the Milwaukee Brewers, former Cincinnati Red.
Yeah, one of those 2 starts came against the Brewers, if I recall correctly. Either that or we came in early in the game and pitched well for about 4 or 5 innings. I can't remember. That's one of the things that
I think he did get a start.
Happens to you when you get a little bit older. But, you know, 18 appearances, 2 starts for Sampson.
And he faces Pena. First pitch is popped up into shallow right for the out.
I tell you, roll up a .435 earned run average, a great American ballpark. That's not too bad. And limited duty. Split time between AAA Louisville and Cincinnati. Also made appearances for the Reds back in 2015.
Came up through the Padres organization. Makes his big league debut with Cincinnati, and then is picked up off waivers by Arizona during the offseason. Well, the Diamondbacks have some key veteran players on their team, but there's still some holes they need to fill, that's for sure. Trying to be competitive again in the West. They're just 2 years removed from making some big deals and trying to take that next step. Didn't work out a year ago. Fired their manager, Chip Hale. Even stripped some duties away from Tony La Russa, who'd basically been running the club. Yep, fired Dave Stewart, the GM, as well.
Well, just a total shakeup, right? Yeah, they brought some guys in. They sent some guys packing. Gene Segura gone. And there's not a whole lot you can do with it about it if you're the Cincinnati Reds and your top starter is hurt. He misses time. You got 2 of your outfielders hurt. Injuries can wreak havoc on your organization when you're talking about some of the best players on your team.
Arcia draws a walk. Yeah, the Diamondbacks ownership went via the Boston route and brought in Mike Hazen to be their general manager. And then he brought Lovelo over from the Red Sox as well. He was the bench coach there the last 4 years. Here's Lewis Brinson batting for the 3rd time in this game and had a RBI double his last time up. He scored 2 runs. Boy, hits the ball hard, doesn't he?
Look out, Eddie. Yeah, Lewis Brinson is using that face guard on the helmets that a lot of guys are trying out in spring training.
Yeah, I see a lot of those in spring training.
Yeah.
It's a good time to do it, though. And it's not a bad idea to have it.
Yeah, just get used to it. And it's not that these guys are afraid of getting hit in the face. It just helps in the event that it happens. And if you can stand up there in the batter's box more confidently because you have that, why not do it? It really doesn't seem like it would affect your vision and talking to the guys that use them. It just takes a little bit of getting used to.
Well, you're right about the whole confidence thing. No matter what it takes to gain confidence, if that's one of the ways, it certainly may pay off to be safer.
Right.
You don't see it all the time where guys get hit in the face, but it will happen. It happened here last spring, too.
Yeah, and again, that cost the guy his season last year.
Reimer Liriano, we were doing that game, Rock, and he was a guy projected to be in that Brewer outfield a year ago and never played in 2016. Full count pitch to Brinson, and he takes called strike 3. That will end the 6th inning for Milwaukee, but a leadoff home run by Aguilar, and Milwaukee extends their lead to 7-5.
Seventh inning here at Maryvale, and with MLB.TV you can watch every out-of-market game, regular season game live on over 400 supported devices, as well as almost 300 spring training games and this year's World Baseball Classic. Go to MLB.TV for details.
All right, Tyler Cravey in the pitch now for Milwaukee here in the Arizona half of inning number 7. He has a 7-5 lead to work with. Cravey's numbers a year ago with the Brewers, 20 games, couple of starts as well. Did a nice job and some good spot duty in that Brewer pitching staff.
Yeah, things turned around for Cravey once he decided to scrap the windup. He works out of the stretch, or at least he has been. There you see his numbers last year, making appearance number 7 in spring training. A guy that certainly has a shot to make it to Milwaukee in the bullpen. There's his numbers: 6 games, 8 1/3 innings, and real good work out of Tyler Cravey so far. 1 run allowed.
Host of defensive replacements behind him as well, as Vargas steps in to lead off the 7th inning against Tyler Cravey.
That is actually right there Cravey's windup. It is not out of the stretch. He has the foot on the rubber like the stretch, but that's one of those new rule changes this year. Guys that do that have to declare when men are on base whether they're working out of the stretch or out of the windup. Could be deceiving.
There's Mauricio Dubon at shortstop for the Brewers. Isan Diaz takes over at second base. And Rene Garcia behind the plate for Tyler Cravey. And one more Kyle Wren out in right field. All right, so every Brewer starter is now out. They've done their job in the sun today. Got their work in.
Yep. And get ready for tomorrow.
You know, we were talking about Reimer Liriano when he got hit in the face here in this spring training game a year ago. Didn't play at all for Milwaukee. Had a tough time rehabbing and getting back to playing at all. He's with the Chicago White Sox this year and is on their 40-man roster. So guy goes through that, you wish him the best.
And no doubt. And you know, that was a tragic accident that happened in spring training last year, because Liriano was ticketed for center field last year.
Exactly. It was a brand new player for the Brewers out of San Diego's organization, and another one of those guys that was so close to being on the brink of the breaking into the majors. Just needed an opportunity, and it looked like last year this was the right club. You can't predict injuries.
And a part of the game, and unfortunately it cost Liriano quite a bit.
Jeremy Hazelbaker, the batter. And Jimmy Nelson took one in the head, you remember, a couple of years ago to end his season in the final month. We'll see him tomorrow. He's slated to start for the Brewers. See him and Willie Peralta, according to Craig Counsell's game plan for St. Patrick's Day.
Right. Every one of these appearances for all these guys very important, and Jimmy and Willie are right in the thick of it. I guess you wonder, if you're Craig Counsell, does it come down to who would be better served out in the bullpen? Is it so much, you know, this is a guy that's best suited for the starting rotation, or will it come down to whether they think one of these guys that isn't going to make the rotation, will he do better in the bullpen than somebody else? At least early in the season, I'm not sure.
And for some of these guys, Rock, that have been starters, even though they're young, perhaps in their major league careers, they're still not fully used to coming out of the bullpen. It is a completely different routine.
Right.
This one hit hard left field. DeJesus on the run, but it goes foul. All right, so we have our first upset, the 12-5 upset. Middle Tennessee State 81, Minnesota 72.
So you're saying then the Wisconsin fans are happy about that?
I'm not saying they're happy. I just don't think they're sad.
Okay.
Called strike 3. Thought he had ball 4, but a strikeout for Cravey as Hazelbaker goes down.
Well, I love the way Cravey goes about his business. We saw that last year. He works quickly. He doesn't mess around. Looked like an off-speed pitch that looks like it was high enough and caught the inside corner, and Chris Guccione rings him up.
Here's Jason Priddy batting for the first time.
Who are we rooting for anyway?
Oh, look at that. Arizona hat and a Brewer jacket.
I'm rooting for whoever wins today.
Fly ball left field to Jesus, makes the catch. Calls off Phillips out there for the final out. Here in the 7th inning, Brewers coming to bat, and they lead it 7-5. With a 2-run lead, and this week MLS Soccer Sunday is fully loaded on FS1 in a clash of East and West. The defending MLS Cup champion Seattle Sounders host the New York Red Bulls at 6 Central. Don't miss MLS Soccer Sunday this week on FS1. All right, Sampson back out on the hill for the Diamondbacks as the Brewers go to hit in their half of the 7th inning. Couple of home runs on the day for Milwaukee. All the starters are out now. That gives an opportunity for guys like DeJesus, who bats for the first time today, to get in there. He's had a good spring.
Yes, he has, and showing flexibility and throwing him in the outfield. Play anywhere on the infield. We saw that when he was a member of the Reds, and now showing that he can play the outfield. That was a nice running catch in the outfield, calling off the center fielder Phillips to end that inning.
Yeah, 310 here in the spring so far for DeJesus. So DeJesus on the spring at 310, and this time he gets hit by a pitch. 2-strike pitch.
Yeah, tried to spin a breaking ball up there, just got away from, hit him on that elbow pad. That's not going to hurt too badly. Three innings in the row, the Brewers have been able to get their leadoff hitter on. One time it was a home run. That was Aguilar.
Here's Garrett Cooper getting a second at bat. Flew out to center back of the 5th inning. Big hitter hits for power. Right at third, and ball bobbled and got the lead out there at second base as DeJesus came in, and
I think he
looked like he was in between the slide and
I think he assumed he was going to be out by quite a bit, and then had he slid, it might have been close at second base. And you see, this is a bullet by Cooper. Looks like it was handled, but he dropped it. Now check it out. This is where the trouble begins. Looks like he was hobbling a little bit as he approached second base.
So Cooper on a fielder's choice. We hope DeJesus is okay. There's Brett Phillips. Came in a pinch run for Ryan Braun back in the 5th. Phillips at 192 here this spring. He's looking to turn things around from a year ago. He's one of the clubhouse and team favorite personalities, but he wants to produce at a higher level now with this Brewers team. His first year in the organization a year ago at Biloxi, batting in at 230 range. The strikeouts were high, so he knows what his goals are. Fewer strikeouts, higher batting average, because that's pretty much how he's played his entire career up until now. Obviously, things turned on him a bit last season.
Right. Well, he's attempting to be known for more than just his laugh.
He's a great guy, great character. He wants to be having all that on a big league team, and that's the way to do it right there. Good base hit as he pulls it into right field.
Apparently he had some t-shirts made up, didn't he? I was reading that in the paper today. T-shirts with, he's got this strange laugh. Everybody, follows the Brewers have either heard it or heard about it. He kind of closes one eye and kind of makes a funny face.
Kind of like a seal noise, too.
Yeah, kind of, yeah. And they made t-shirts up, and they become very popular.
See, rightly so, right there.
There you go.
There's Lucas Erceg. One down here in the 7th, 2 aboard. 7-5 Milwaukee lead.
Yeah, with his laugh, I think people that are around him when he does it, he really gets that laugh going and either want to laugh with him or call 911. They're not sure what.
Well, I will never forget meeting him the first time last year. We were doing our player interviews, and we have a special room here at Maryvale where we set up and do the interviews. We kind of almost build a mini interview stage rock, and he came in full of life, loud as can be. That's just his personality, how he talks. And said, "Glad to meet you. Did you guys put that little ballerina outfit in my clubhouse cubby today?" I have no idea what you're talking about. And he described it to us, and then he started laughing and got me going, and we were both done. I mean, it happens that fast.
That was no interview then.
But I'll tell you right now, I looked at him, and I did think, if I can get myself straight here, I may call 911. I don't know what's going on the other end over here.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it took us about 10 minutes to cool off, a couple of bottles of water. We were in tears. He's that infectious, though. It's amazing. Ursig in the dirt, strikes out.
Although I do enjoy getting you going. We'll go down on the set on Brewers Live, the post game. Something will happen, or I'll say something, make a face, and there's been times where I've actually had to go to break.
Doesn't take much with me, does it? Oh boy. I think we have some good times ahead, my friend, this 2017 season.
Yeah, you're going to be doing some games this year, hopefully, right?
Yep. Going to be doing some games, going to be doing the pre and post as well. Everyone's in the mix as we shuffle chairs every now and again, right?
Yeah. Got to be flexible.
There's Orf in foul territory. A nice catch made out there by Kelly Dugan. So that's the final out here in the 7th inning. 7-5 Milwaukee. Authority of the Milwaukee Brewers. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Milwaukee Brewers. Back in Maryvale on a beautiful sunshiny day, the umbrella to keep the sun out, not a bad idea for everybody in the family. Taylor Youngman on the mound for Milwaukee here in the Arizona half of inning number 8. And Taylor Youngman, like a few others on this Brewer team right now, looking to turn things around and make 2017 a better season.
Yeah, 2016 was real good for him. Not so much last year. He got hit pretty hard, but you know, this year down in Arizona, 7th appearance, all out of the bullpen, a .257 earned run average. He's thrown 7 innings, given up 2 runs.
He'll face Kelly Dugan to start things out here in the 8th, and I would think that if things go well for Youngman, or predictably well, he'll finish out the last 2 innings of this game. Youngman was on the Brewers opening day roster, but started out 0-5 with a 7.76 ERA. That's what he finished with on the big league level. Actually went with an ERA of over 9 before he was sent out.
He came back in September and worked pretty well out of the bullpen. That was a pretty good start to his day.
Called strike 3 on Dugan.
That is a key pitch for Taylor Youngman, to be able to throw that pitch for strikes. That one a little bit up in the zone, but able to catch him looking.
Here's Domingo Leiloya. He's batting right now for the Diamondbacks. I'll tell you what, Beth and Glenn are doing an incredible job up here for us, keeping track of all the substitutions and the pinch hitters and the pitching changes.
I'll tell you, you can have a confetti parade up here after the game with all the paper. They do a fabulous job.
It is more than it's sure, and we appreciate it very much.
Beth is our stage director in the regular season at Chase Field.
She's multitasking today for us.
Right.
Glenn's multitasking too. He operates our field camera and does a lot of editing for us back at Fox in Wisconsin, and does a great job getting the production value of our broadcasts and our shows, our pre-games and post-games, and interviews, shot, feature stories. Doing some stats for us here during this stretch of spring training, as he does every year. This one shot the other way into Jesus. Second nice play out in left field here today.
Yeah, showing good versatility is Ivan De Jesus Jr. Yeah, Glenn and I worked on a World War II veteran a feature last year. And
yeah, it's a great one.
Turned out well.
Yeah,
a veteran that was actually on a ship at D-Day. So that was a highlight of my season. Glenn did a heck of a job putting that together.
Yeah, that was quite a piece. Well done by both of you guys. We're fortunate to have the luxury to put nice stories like that together and share them with not only our audience, but watching along the line on our Fox Sports Go app, Major League Baseball app. A lot of great stories out there, not only from us, but across the board. There's Christopher Negron, the second baseman, now stepping into bat. First time today.
Crossfire delivery for Taylor Youngman could be so deceptive for a right-handed batter. It's just a matter of whether he's going to be able to throw strikes. He really had a tough time with that early in the season last year, and to get that curveball over. He's got a natural cut to his fastball.
And Dubon takes the force at second base for the final out. Good inning for Taylor Youngman. 7-5 Milwaukee, mid-8th. View of the mountains here in the Phoenix area. 7-5 the Brewers over the Diamondbacks as we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. It is hot. Temperatures above 90s here for a pretty good stretch, but Perfect weather, low humidity for baseball as Enrique Burgos now on the hill for the Diamondbacks to pitch to Milwaukee batters here in the 8th inning.
Yeah, big earned run average in 43 games for Burgos. And 5 home runs, a .253 opponent batting average. The tall right-hander. Yeah, Burgos so far this spring, 5 appearances and earned run average at 9. He's given up 5 runs in 5 innings.
Here's Isan Diaz now batting for the Brewers. Minor league offensive player of the year a year ago for Milwaukee, coming out of course, the Wisconsin Timber Rattlers back home in Wisconsin. We did plenty of stories on Diaz and the Timber Rattlers. Made the playoffs a year ago. This kid has really excelled, though, hasn't he?
Yes, he has. Just one of those a long list of very talented middle infielders that the Brewers have. There's a lot of them. A lot of middle infielders, a lot of center fielders the Brewers have in their system.
Only 20 years old, came over from the Arizona Diamondbacks organization with Chase Anderson and Aaron Hill a year ago for Gene Segura. It's worked out well for Milwaukee. Chase Anderson still in the mix to be a starting pitcher. Aaron Hill traded away at midseason for prospects, and since, of course, Gene Segura has now gone to Seattle. Diaz hits it hard into the corner, all the way to the wall. And he will get at least a double here, and he's on his way to third. And he's going to get in easily. Diaz, nice piece of base running.
Yeah, it might be a double in an error because the ball was dropped out there in right field. Played it well off the wall, but when he tried to take it out of the glove, he dropped it, and that's what prompted Ed Cedar to send him to third base. That wasn't a big curveball either. Picked it right off the ground, and the race is on. And once the ball was made in right field, send him to third base.
Boy, this kid's going to be something.
Boy, that ball, what, 2 inches off the ground when he hit it?
Yeah.
That was a pretty good pitch.
Here's Rene Garcia getting his first at bat. He came in to catch last inning. Remember talking to Diaz last year, his first year in the organization during spring training. Great kid, great personality, good head on his shoulders. First thing he said is, just so you know, I'm not going to be playing shortstop for too much longer because you guys, you got a great one in Arcia. He goes, I'll find myself somewhere else, but I'm going to play somewhere. He's
right.
Confident.
He loved that.
Absolutely. And his bat did the talking, that's for sure.
If you don't have the confidence, nobody's going to give it to you. It's one thing you have to have in this game.
20 home runs and 75 RBIs a year ago for Isan Diaz. As you take a look at Rene Garcia's numbers as well in the minors a year ago. It's a lot different here in the last year or two, maybe especially this year, as you get more eye contact, more communication with the young kids in this organization now. And Rock, you can tell who's really gonna make it and be an impact. That's for sure. This one gets past the catcher. Diaz is in. 8-5 now, Brewers.
But the amazing thing, Craig, about the confidence that a lot of these kids have, how young they are. You're talking 20, 21, 22 years old, and they have the poise and they know the right things to say to folks like us and the writers. And it's just a lot of poise that they have, a lot of confidence in themselves. And
yeah, they're young but mature, aren't they?
They get younger and younger, and they seem to be more confident all the time, but not in a bad way. Very respectful young men, and I think the Brewers do a good job of preparing these kids from Latin America to come over here, and I know that they go through some classes and just to get them ready for what to expect over here. That's a big part of what they try and do for these young men.
Well, they've helped in a lot of way by increasing their coaching staff and the training staff and public relations to make sure that their language barrier is not a problem.
Yeah, they have that Dominican academy now.
Yep.
And I know they signed 9 guys from that academy, very young kids, pre-draft age, and we'll see. The Brewers have a very much of a commitment in Dominican Republic and Latin America, more than they ever have. They always have had that, but not to this level.
And called strike 3 on Garcia. Burgos with his first out.
Might have been off the outside corner, but a little bit too close to take, especially when it's 92 degrees. Chris Guccione said, "You better swing at that, young man. It's hot back here."
He's been in the sun all day.
Yes.
There's Mauricio Dubon, shortstop who came over from the Red Sox in that Thornburg trade. He hits it hard down the left field line. Fair ball. Going to be a double for Dubon. And the young guys continue to impress.
Yeah, picked on a high breaking pitch that time and able to tomahawk it down the line. A little bit off the end of the bat, but able to dump it down the line for a double. You can see a high leg kick, a little bit out in front. As he actually makes contact with his back foot in the air, and because it was up, it's elevated for him, and he rips it down the line.
Another outstanding young talented shortstop as well. I mean, they're just lining up right now, aren't they? Got Diaz and Dubon batting this inning, showing you a flash of the future.
Garcia, Yadiel Rivera, 2 guys that have had big league time, and a lot of fun to watch these guys. Hey, you hear about them, you heard about them all last year, but coming down here and watching them play in spring training gives you a sense of how good they actually are, how talented they are. Have a long way to go to be good big league players or even get to the big leagues, but boy, you could just see the athleticism in them.
Yeah, the athleticism is really off the charts. Kyle Wren came over to the organization back in the offseason of 2014. 25-year-old outfielder, 300 hitter in the minors.
There's a guy we see just about every day late in games. All these kids that have come in late in the game are getting playing time just about every day.
His dad, the former Atlanta Braves general manager, Frank Wren. Braves took him back in the 2013 draft in the 8th round, and he strikes out here for the second out of the inning. And here's Ivan DeJesus. Two down, a runner out at second base. DeJesus hit by a pitch in the 7th inning. Talk about all that untapped talent that the Brewers have in their minor leagues organization right now, and then they go out and get guys like Ivan DeJesus Jr. to help bolster the bench. Guys with some experience on the major league levels.
And you wonder how many spots like that are available. Maybe one other, because you do have Hernan Perez. You know he's going to be on the team. And Scooter Gennett. You got Sogard. You've got Ivan De Jesus Jr. Be interesting.
Well, it's March 16th. Right at that midpoint here of spring training games. Guys all came in about a month ago. Week of February 13th. And De Jesus draws a walk. First couple of weeks, of course, they're training and working out, and then the game started at the very end of February.
And I forgot to mention Yadiel Rivera in that mix of guys that could potentially be one of those utility players off the bench.
Well, Rivera had a nice game yesterday playing third. He had a couple of hits, a double and a single, stolen base, scored a run, made some nice plays over there defensively. He broke with the big league club a year ago, made his first opening day roster, and one of those guys, though, that being so young, just not productive, coming off the bench every once in a while. And Cooper hits this one to right. Boy, he's hitting the ball hard, but right into outs. There's the final out here in the Brewer half of the 8th inning. 8-5 Milwaukee. We go. The Brewers trying to protect a 3-1 lead, 3-run lead. 8-5 is the score right now. And out on the mound for Milwaukee to try to close things out is Forrest Snow. What a great name to have here in the desert, huh?
Yeah. You can only wish. You know, I was up in Flagstaff, took a ride up there on an off day. They're still skiing up there. And they're skiing in shorts and T-shirts.
Isn't that something?
Yeah, that's kind of neat. Snow, fourth appearance in spring training, has not allowed a run. Looking to close this one out. Last year down in the minor leagues, 3 starts, 28 appearances, and a nifty 283 earned run average. I don't think nifty is used enough in baseball.
I think we should bring it back, Rock.
I think nifty. I like nifty.
It's nifty that you're saying
it's a nifty 283 earned run average.
That's a nifty name Snow's got here in the desert, too. Should we keep going? No, I'm done.
You got plenty of time left.
We've got a few games here. We got today, Friday, Saturday, all here on Fox Sports Wisconsin. Got the Royals coming in tomorrow. It's St. Patty's Day. Marzilli starts things out with a base hit for Arizona against Snow.
Yeah, it's a big weekend down here at in Phoenix for the Brewers. They've got all their sponsors in, all the owners are in town, and the investors, Mark and Debbie Ananazio. So a lot of the front office for the Brewers, a lot going on. There's a big party tonight in the Phoenix area. Saturday, big barbecue here at the ballpark. All the players and coaches come out, mix it up with all these sponsors, and it's one of the ways the Brewers really show their appreciation for all the support, throughout the years. The Brewers sponsors.
That's a pretty neat thing. A lot of respect there, obviously. They go hand in hand, don't they?
Yes, they do. Wouldn't be here without them.
Here's Stuart Imes, who took over left field. Snow delivers outside. Tomorrow, for St. Paddy's Day, I've been told that the Brewers are going to be wearing green hats.
Okay. That's
to
typical.
Participate.
They usually do that.
I think one year they wore, did they have their white jerseys with green numbers? Didn't they have a jersey with green on them?
I don't remember.
I think they did.
Spring training?
Yeah. Well, it's it's March, so it's got to be here.
I mean, that's a commitment to do that in spring. I mean, a special jersey for spring training. That's above and beyond. I get a hat, a green hat. Are you going to wear green tomorrow? You have any?
I didn't bring any on the trip, so that ends that. I don't think we have green Fox shirts, do we?
I think we do, but they're like hunter green, dark green, but they're mine are back in Milwaukee.
And that doesn't qualify for St. Patrick. You got to have bright green. If you're wearing green and you're participating, don't you think you got to wear a cheery, bright green?
I have one of those lime green golf shirts. Should I bring that?
I think maybe you should bring that. And if you have another one, bring half of it for me.
Half of it?
Snow, nice pitch, called strike 3.
I have never been one that gets too carried away about St. Patrick's Day.
No, me either.
You know.
No. I think it's all great. You know what?
It's a cool thing, but I'm really never one of those that goes from. I don't overindulge too much these days.
No. I wasn't a big fan of having a green beer either. I mean, I've had it, but I think it just makes everybody cheery that day. As Matt Jones bats with one out. Kelly green is the official color, isn't it? Kelly green. See, Beth's on everything for us. Very nice. St. Patrick's Day is a nifty day.
Corned beef and cabbage.
Marty Tarr, producer, also chiming in. It's one of those days where everybody participates.
Telling you what to say?
Oh, just participating.
What did he have for you? What can you say?
He said it was a nifty day. He was trying to participate with your nifty word.
You think St. Patrick's Day is a nifty day?
It's a nifty day.
Ground ball here would be nifty, a double play.
Be nifty, nifty way to end it. Good block by Garcia behind the plate. Forrest Snow out of the Seattle organization. Pitched in AA and AAA a year ago. Has not made it to the majors yet. Trying to take it a step closer. Non-roster invitee by the Brewers, but he's 28 years old.
Yeah, it's got to make it happen fairly soon. It went from 0-2 to 3-2.
This one hit hard right field and caught out there by Kyle Wren. 2 down here in the 9th inning. Here's Hazelbaker. See if Snow can get the final out and get a Brewers a win here. They lost yesterday on a walk-off home run to the Rockies. Brewers are up 4-3 in that game. Had 2 outs, but a runner was aboard. And the Rockies, like the Diamondbacks, big hitters, good offense. Slow roller to third, and this one bobbled. Everybody's going to be safe. Ursig couldn't glove it.
Brings the tying run up. And a little cue shot right off the end of the bat, and if he comes up with it cleanly, it's going to be an easy out. So inning continues.
Here's Jason Pridey. Brewers' first error of the game. 8 runs, 11 hits, and an error for Milwaukee. 5 runs, 9 hits, 3 errors for the Diamondbacks. Looks like he took something off of that one. 0-2.
Yeah, pretty good off-speed pitch. Not quite sure what you call that, but had Pridey way out in front of it. Throw that same pitch down in the dirt, see what happens.
2-strike pitch with 2 down on the way. 2 aboard. The 3-run Milwaukee lead. There's Snow. And a cold strike 3. He did it. He did just what Rock ordered right there to come up with the final pitch for the final out. The Brewers win it 8-5 here in this spring training game. We'll step aside, come back with more from Maryvale.